Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. We are just a couple days removed from the latest mini set release, which has seen Warrior and Druid get some pretty good stuff, and Paladin. Finally, Paladin back on top. We're gonna go over the 5 best decks to climb with, whether it be standard or wild, and you can reasonably expect to climb with these decks, whether it's getting to bronze. Well, you're probably already at bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, or legend for the very first time. I will say it's still very early. The meta is adapting a lot, and I wouldn't craft too much right now because there is a balance patch likely coming next week, I would estimate, or at the very latest the week after that. So again, get what you can together here, and the meta is adapting a lot. We're gonna have deck recommendations probably like a week or so from now, plus Twist is coming. I'll try and update that. So again, craft at your own risk, but I did want to share you guys some decks that you can try and climb with. And as always, I clickbait the wrong way. I have 9 standard decks and 5 wild decks, so a little bit extra. And if you enjoy the content on this channel, if you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a lot. And you'll also want to stay tuned because I'm gonna have a bonus news video where there was a lot of updates in Hearthstone today with the hotfix and stuff, or I guess yesterday as you're watching this. So there'll be another like quick news video to stay tuned for. Plus I forgot a preview of Shaman Portraits. I gotta throw that in there. Anyways, on to the decks. First, Paladin seems to be the best thing across all ranks again because Excavate has really helped out. If you're not aware, Paladin now has Excavate reward. You now get the Azurite Dragon, which gives all other minions in your hand deck a battlefield +3/+3. I gotta say, I don't see it too much because mainly you're playing Excavate to get the Shroomscavate going. You basically want to just spam stuff and buff it up with Garden's Grace, give it Wind Fury, and kill your opponent. This is a non-pure version, just trying to be sticky on the board. Cycle with your Hand of Adults. You buff your, Kelf the Lost, aggro, and you got your new I say adapt because I think of the whole Galvadon thing. You excavate with the fossilized Kaleidosaur, as well as get Divine Shield or Reborn. Really sticky, annoying minion. But Sir Finley the Intrepid is just such a broken card where you excavate twice, you could turn your opponent's minions into poor little tiny things that you can massacre. The deck has had really good numbers so far the first couple of days across all ranks, even higher ranks. This is a very well performing deck, very aggressive, and a great way to try and counter those druids. Druid has been the hotness so far, but they are still very susceptible to aggro, and this is a deck that has been countering it pretty darn well. And if you want to go for the more pure route, I have a pure list down below, very similar in what you want to do, but you have a little bit more late game, with the Countess and all that, but you have less excavates. You can't run the neutral excavates, but if you like that more pure style, I feel like it's probably a bit more fun in the late game. You might want to give this one a try. You just won't be able to excavate as often. Next, Treant Druid. It's the same deck as before. It's still really good. It's still extremely cheap. I will always recommend this deck. It is the cheapest deck in the game, under 2,000 dust, and it is arguably across all ranks still right there with Aggro Paladin as one of the best decks in the game. You might not love the deck, but if you want to play it, it's really cheap and definitely can still win a lot of games. And now we're going to go into the Ramp Druids, which again, they're showing okay numbers at high legend, at legend ranks. They fall off a lot outside of there, but it is what people are playing, and there's a lot of broken tools to do crazy stuff. We'll start off with the Renethal version that has popped up lately, which now runs due process, and I don't want to, I'm like gonna delete the card. I don't want to recommend a deck with due process, but it's doing well. The numbers are good, and it's all because of cards like Pendant of Earth, which now you discover a minion from your deck, which could be a Naga Giant, giving you 20 armor to, try and survive. I think I saw Pheno on turn with 5 mana go Solar Eclipse Pendant into double Naga Giant for 40 armor. Like, it can be outright ridiculous. And then you have the new Shattered Reflections, which you could just play Eonar. Shattered Reflections, get another Eonar, get that all going, and then you could go like infinite with Fizzle, right? You can get multiple Fizzles copy fizzles in your snapshots. Literally have seen draws, and due process, I guess, kind of helps pressure your opponent and screw with their hand, and you can go infinite, so you don't have to worry about the fatigue nearly as much. So you want to try this? You like this style of mill infinite druid spam that never really kills your opponent? You just do this stuff over and over and over. You can go for it. And the regular ramp, similar style of thing. This list I saw out there has brought a new Khan back into the mix because you get so much armor and can get like Crypt Keepers out. And of course, again, pendants in here, Shattered Reflection, but this one also runs Crystal Cluster for some more ramp or taunts when your mana crystals are full. But again, same deal here where you have your Fizzle, your Ignis, all that stuff, spamming it infinitely. You're just gonna struggle likely against aggro, and of course like the Dirty Rats and the Theotars of the worlds, and I guess Steam Cleaners at some point can be a bit of a problem. And you'll note both of these decks run Reno despite duplicates because it draws so much that, yeah, when you get to late game infinite stage, you can keep copying Renos and doing all that just gross stuff. It's really hard to manage. Again, I don't think it's a very easy deck to play, and I don't think these lists are refined whatsoever. I think they will change quite a bit, but if you want to try it out, you have the cards, give it a go. Next, we're going to go to some more definite, like, consistent, strong decks out there. But Thief Rogue, I don't think runs a single new card. Velorock is now working. We'll talk about that in today's video a little bit later, the other video. But Velorock is working as intended now, and this deck, basically the same as before the mini set. Still really good. People love playing it. It's still one of the top performing decks. Getting that infinite, like all the random spells all the time, recasting it with like your tests, and you got your scams with Velorock. I still expect this card to get nerfed. So if you only need to craft this card, you're probably safe to craft it because you'll get your dust back at some point. And yeah, the deck is still probably overperforming, still probably a little too good, but it's also helping shutting down those druids as well. So yeah, Thief Rogue still solid. Plague DK, again, not running, I think, a single new card. Death Knight did not really get all that much great stuff. They got like the new weapon is okay, but this deck can't run it. And yeah, Plague DK can be really good against the druids, right? Putting all those plagues, shutting them off. They keep drawing, they're gonna die. As well as Reno Warrior, right? Reno Warrior, we'll get to that in a second, has Bran and all of that stuff. That can help shut them off. And now I'm seeing Reno Warriors trying to run Steam Cleaner to get their Bran out. It's a whole mess, but yes, this deck actually one of the best performing decks of the mini set because so many people so far are playing Druid, playing Warrior, and this kind of counters both of them. So a pretty good meta pick right now if you're looking for that. And speaking of Reno Warrior, well, we have it right here where this is the list I've been playing. There's a bunch of different ones. I took my list from Jambray, which I've already evolved a bit, but basically you really want Bran. Bran is everything. You don't run Odin, you don't do any of that. You just want to get Talon out there or Bran. Talon will 2 to your Bran. And then in the late game, in my ETC, if Bran's active, I can get Boom Boss. I can Steam Cleaner my own stuff, but that's in there to help against those other decks as I mentioned, or another person's Boom Boss, or just more Excavates, get an extra reward. Again, I don't think this is absolutely optimal at all, but it has been working for me, and I'm already teching in greed because the meta is pretty greedy. I've got Theotar in here. We also still have new cards in here, which like are exceptionally good, like the new Totem, Needle Rock Totem. Such a good card, as well as Aftershocks is an amazing AoE, especially against the Paladins, the Druids of the world. It's a really fun deck to play. I just find it really boring when it comes down to, yeah, play Bran, and then I spam Astalors. That's really the win condition. It's pretty boring. I'm really sick of Astalor, but it's really good when you get to that 8 mana 1 and it's dealing 28 a pop, and you can get a lot of them and also just a lot of Ignis weapons too. So really solid deck. I think this is probably pretty close. There are people that don't do the Talon thing. They just run Boom Boss. Boom Boss seems to be the right pick these days. Just crazy because the meta is pretty greedy, at least Legend and all that. But yeah, this is what I've been playing. Again, you can tweak it to your own liking, but I think it's a pretty decent shell. And I guess it was only 8 decks. I had Thief Rogue there twice. As for Wild, I haven't seen a lot of development. Not a lot. Like, people just don't play Wild a lot. It's crazy. I did see a new Even Shaman list go out there. Yes, now Even Shaman's got a bit more draw with Needle Rock Totem, so you could throw that in there. Someone's already gotten a pretty high rank with that. We have Even Warrior. I didn't see a new Even Warrior list. This is just what I built, what I'm gonna try and do to farm those Even Shamans, all that. I threw in some Aftershocks, Needle Rock Totem, but overall, it's the same deal as always. Get your Odin, murder your opponent. I don't think you want to go the Bran route and go Reno Warrior in Wild, where it's probably too slow, and there's just, you have so much burn with your Odin with Frozen Bucklers. Like, I just don't see you needing that. And overall, yeah, it's the same old Even Warrior. Shadow Priest, no new cards, super effective aggro deck, really good at climbing fast. You win fast, you lose fast. Just, again, always seems to be a deck that's doing well at all ranks. And Reno Shaman, again, I haven't seen a single list with new cards. I think the only thing you would really put in here is Aftershocks, that card. By the way, the thing you'll note about all these Reno lists is Marut doesn't pop up in any of them. It's just not good enough. I'm really sad. The card kind of, it's just, the elementals aren't as solid as I thought they would be. Maybe this will get buffed to 6, but yeah, if you were wondering what to put Marut in, it's not really good to run unless you just want to try, you know, have fun with it. And lastly, Reno Druid. Again, no real update to the deck. It's just, you don't really need all that extra value that Standard has, where, you know, you go Infinite Titans because you just kill people, because you have Bran, you have Astalor, you've got Zephyrus, you got tons of ways to win in Wild. That's the thing in Standard, is the Druids can't kill you. They can just really, really slowly grind you to death, and that's almost more painful. So yeah, that's a bunch of decks to take in Standard Wild. Again, craft at your own risk. We are expecting a balance patch probably next week, and things are evolving, so please be aware of that. Stay tuned. We'll have a news update video later on some major fixes in Hearthstone and some free stuff you can probably get, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.